So what are you thinking here? You said you want to do something different.
Yeah. I got a date.
You have a date?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Get rid of this mammoth mess.
Yeah.
Alex Dunn stood before the mirror in a downtown reading boutique, feeling both surreal and gently amused. Gone were the usual worn flannel and baggy jeans. In their place, a crisp button-down, tailored chinos, and shoes that didn't bear scuffs for moving too fast. His reflection looked hopeful. The makeover was cosmetic, yes, but for Alex, it was symbolic. His sisters had booked the appointment a week ago, insisting that only a transformation could nudge him out of his shell. At 34, still living in his parents' attic and ferrying around in his mom's minivan, Alex understood comfort, but something in him was ready to break free. He checked his phone. 7:45 p.m. The cafe was just around the corner. It was the same spot where he'd gone on his first date. His palms still remembered how rigid they'd been, how words had tumbled in stutters. But tonight, buoyed by new clothing and half a bottle of courage, he walked with easier steps. Inside, she was waiting. Andrea sensed his entrance and offered a gentle wave, not the teasing hi of peers, but warm, knowing. Her eyes glowed under the ambient lights, and he thought again how this date, even rushed, felt meaningful. "Wow," he dared, voice soft. "You look," he searched, glowing. Radiant, bold, settled on, beautiful. Andrea's laugh was quiet, melodic. "You cleaned up good," she replied, scanning his new outfit approvingly. Their first date had been abrupt, a lunch at the library cafe where both, awkward with small talk, had found sanctuary in discussing favorite books. It had ended with a promise, "See you soon." Today's second date felt like a leap, and fast, yet the promise lingered. They seated themselves in a corner of the cafe, signaling a date more intentional than impulsive. "It's weird, how fast we're speeding through this," she murmured, eyes flitting from his collar to his face. "Slow romantics in fast lanes," he replied, and the match flickered. They talked, really talked. What he feared, his lack of experience. What she relished, authenticity. He confessed living at home, shyness, that first date's line stuck, "I imagine it feels glorious. That's why people do it so much." Andrea admitted she was cautious, once hurt by people who had expectations she couldn't meet. Alex nodded in empathy. He'd felt that weight too. Leaving the cafe, they strolled under street lamps that flickered like hopeful sparks. The air turned cool, encouraging proximity. Andrea stopped near a mural of dancers, twisting bodies stitched into vibrant street art. She muttered, "I danced once, a class that ended in tears because I felt exposed." Alex paused beside her. "Exposure is scary," he said, voice low. "But vulnerability is beautiful." Her head tilted, understanding. Maybe that's what this is, vulnerability in motion. They stood close enough for shared breaths. The moment was raw, honest, fast, yes, but grounded. Soon, they were at her building. The speed of the night echoed in his racing pulse, but urgency didn't dictate the ending. Would you ever want to come up?" Andrea asked. Alex hesitated. His mind raced. Scandals. Expectations. Intimacy. But then, trust. He nodded, quietly. Inside her apartment, quiet and tasteful, they sat across from each other over glasses of water. Silence pulsed between them, no need to rush. Andrea spoke softly, "I want to know you. Not just the makeover, but the man." Alex exhaled. "I want to show you that, but not tonight," he said. Eyes steady, hands unobscured. Andrea stood, drew closer. The soft touch of her hand on his cheek felt like recognition. He closed his eyes, leaning in. The kiss was gentle, carrying the weight of years, of fears, of late-blooming hope. It was slow, deliberate. In that moment, he understood, intimacy wasn't timed. It was earned. They pulled apart, breath shared. Words unnecessary. Outside again, Alex stepped onto the stoop, this time, lighter. Andrea pressed her hand to his. "That was perfect," she whispered. "Fast in planning, slow in delivery." Alex smiled, real, unguarded. Speedy second date. But perfect pace. That night, Alex lay in his childhood bed, the fabric smelling faintly of nostalgia. He wrote. "We rushed in arrival, paused in promise, kissed in courage. This is no sprint. This is a slow dawn. He read it twice, exhaled. He'd taken a step, not just toward Andrea, but toward himself. Speed versus slow, a second date planned hastily transformed into a tender story of pacing, showing how speed doesn't negate depth. Authenticity over image. The makeover set the stage, but honesty built the connection. Intimacy as trust. Alex's decision to refrain from going further was as intimate as a kiss. Personal growth. Alex confronts his lingering adolescence and emerges hopeful.